Does your car look like this? But do you want it to look like this? Or maybe even this? Well, this trading tutorial is everything you need to get your credits from this amount all the way up to this amount. And it's going to be for every trader of every single level, whether you've got no credits, 5,000 credits, or 200 credits. This video is going to be helpful for you. There's going to be timestamps in the description to show each part of the video, so click on which part you need to look at, but this is basically a full trading tutorial for everybody who needs it. But before I let you into all the secrets to get all the credits in the world, use my code HD_FER in the item shop, and it gives me 5% of the credits you spend, and it helps me make better and better content for the channel. So if you're brand new to the game, you are unfortunately not allowed to trade until you have purchased at least 500 credits from the item shop. Now in the UK, 500 credits is worth £3.99, but you can actually buy the starter pack for £3.69, which includes those 500 credits, and it includes some wheels and like a body. These items aren't tradable, but it's just cool to have them, and plus you get the 500 credits for less money as well. The money spent is equivalent in all other currencies too. Just to note, once you've bought those 500 credits, whether you buy the starter pack or just straight through the item shop, you need to wait 3 days to be able to trade them. So the first thing you do when you get on the game, you should buy the credits and then just play or wait 3 days before you can start trading. So even though you guys that are completely new to the game have now just bought 500 credits, this trading tutorial is going to start from 0, because you may have bought the game before free to play and not had to buy 500 credits to trade, or you may have already bought your 500 credits and spent them all on an item that you want to keep, and you basically starting from 0 credits. So this section of the video is going to be literally starting from 0 credits. So if you have literally 0 credits, the only way to actually really get credits is to get items, obviously. Now the best way of getting items that are actually worth something for free is completing challenges and tiering up in the Rocket Pass. Now every week the weekly challenges refresh, and one of the challenges reward is a rare drop. Also on the season challenges, for stage 1 there are 2 rare drops, and for stage 2 there are 2 rare drops as well. Also in the Rocket Pass, for the first few tiers are uncommon drops, and then the middle of the Rocket Pass is rare drops, and at the end of the Rocket Pass, that's when you get your very rare drops. Now you want to get as many of these drops as you can by just playing, and then you want to open them up, and you want to try and get a little bit lucky, and you want to get a very rare item out of those drops. Now what this very rare item is a non-crate very rare, because it's not come from a crate, it's only come from a drop. Crates are anything like come from a blueprint or a golden gift or golden egg or a golden pumpkin, anything like that. So if you open an uncommon drop, you have a chance of getting a non-crate uncommon, a non-crate rare, or a non-crate very rare. If you open a rare drop, it's non-crate rare, non-crate very rare, or non-crate import. What you want is a non-crate very rare. Those are the easiest things to get that have actually some value. So once you've got enough drops and you open up enough to get a non-crate very rare, you can then sell it for 40 credits on PlayStation. It's about 50 on Xbox and about 30 on PC. So that's how you're going to get your first few credits from having nothing in your inventory. I'll show you how to sell any items you have right now. So here is a non-crate very rare that I opened up from one of my drops. I got this binary. You can tell it's non-crate very rare because underneath where it says binary, there's no information about any series or crate it's from. Also, if you press X, you can trade it in just like this, and 5 non-crate very rares make 1 import item, so that's why people buy them. So the best way of selling is to come to RL Garage, which is a website that is an app as well as a website. So you want to click new trade. Oh, by the way, you have to create an account on RL Garage. So once you've created an account, then you click new trade. In the has, or in brackets, your item section, you want to put non-crate very rare offer. That's what your item is. It's a non-crate very rare. And then in the wants, in brackets, their items section, you need to put 40 credits. And then in the notes, I always like to put add me for fast trade, because I feel like it's like a psychology thing. It makes them add you over someone else. I have no idea. Also remember to select the platform you're on. If you're just creating the account for the first time, you need to link your platform, but it's very simple to create an account on RL Garage. And now your item is up for everybody to see, and they'll buy it if they want it. Just as a side note, if you are on PC, try and sell for 30, and if you are on Xbox, try and sell for either 40 or 50. Also, there is a beautiful app on the App Store and Google Play called Rocket League Trading Post, which is basically like RL Garage, but it's only an app, not a website. You also want to list your non-crate very rare there, because if you list on both apps, you have a much higher chance of selling. So it's important to note that if your trade has been up for more than 15 minutes, because you either haven't sold the item or you're selling more items, like more than one item, you need to bump the trade because it will put it at the top of all the lists on the website. So this can be done every 15 minutes on RL Garage and every 10 minutes on Rocket League Trading Post. So you just want to hit that bump button, and then 15 minutes will turn to 1 second, just like that. So as you can see here, someone added me. I'm assuming that's because of my trade, because I put add me for fast trade. There's no need to message me on the app, they just added me straight up. So if you use PlayStation or whatever platform you're on, you know how to add people back, hopefully. Otherwise, you need to go on a PlayStation tutorial. So you add him back. Then I just invited him from the menu quickly here. I'm appearing offline and he was appearing online, so I invited him. So 2 seconds later, he joins in. And I invite him to trade just like that by clicking on his profile and clicking inviting to trade. This isn't like set up or anything. This is actually someone who's reacted with my trade on the website. This isn't like my friend who's just doing it for the video. So find your non-crate very rare in your inventory and put it into the trade. Wait for him to put the 40 credits in, and then you both tick up. The trade takes 5 seconds to go through, and yeah, processing trade. This bit takes always a second, and then look, just like that, you have 40 credits when before you had nothing. So let's say you've done this 1 or 2 times and you now have, let's say, 50 to 100 credits. So the best way of making profit now is to buy and sell non-crate very rares. On PlayStation you can buy them for 20 pretty easily and then flip them for 40. On Xbox you can buy them for 20 to 30 and sell them to 40 to 50. And on PC you can buy them for, I think, 20 and sell them for 30. So this is going to be your most efficient way of making money or credits from the very, very start. So you may think you can just buy non-crate very rares like this, listing that you want them and that you're happy to pay 20 credits. Sadly, it doesn't work like this because people know that their non-crate very rares are worth about 40 or 30, so they often won't sell for 20. The way to buy non-crate very rares for 20 is to list all of the items that could be non-crate very rares and then say that you're paying 20. So players who don't really understand the non-crate system will open up a drop, get a trash or what they think is a trash item, they'll look it up on RL Garage and then they'll see that you're buying it for 20 credits. They'll think it's a good deal and then they'll sell to you. So pause the video here if you want to easily see like the lists of, this is literally all the items that are possibly non-crate. So pause and add your trades. I know it takes long, but the more of these trades you add, the more offers you get. So the next thing to talk about is how to be careful when you're buying these non-crate items. Now, most of these items I just showed you in the list can come as part of a crate. So you need to make sure you're only buying the non-crate version. So when you're in a trade, you always want to check to make sure, and you need to know how to distinguish between the two. So here I'm in a trade with my friend and he's showing me 3 separate items. This first one here is non-crate. You want to buy this one. As you can see, it just shows the name of the item and no other information underneath it. The next item here shows that it's part of a crate. As you can see, it gives information about what crate it's from and it just shows what things you can get from that crate. The final item is one that tricks a lot of people. This Hot Rocks looks like it's non-crate because there's no series information or crate information. However, it says cannot be traded in, which means it can't be traded up with other non-crates to get an import item. This one, you do not want to buy it. You won't be able to sell it for 40 as a non-crate very rare, so there's no point even buying it. So these are some sped up clips from the first episode of my Nothing to White Fennec. This just is here to prove that you can buy non-crate very rares for 20 each and sell them for 40, and this is how I got from 100 credits to 200 credits in literally like 20 minutes. It's the best method to start out if you're starting straight from nothing. Yeah, and that's how I start all my Nothing to Somethings really. So just to finish off this section of the video, I wanted to mention that non-crate very rares aren't the only thing you can do this with. Non-crate exotics are also a very good method of making profit when you have a low amount of credits. Now on PS4, with each non-crate exotic, you can buy it for 140 and sell it for 200. And how you want to buy it is exactly the same as how you want to do it with non-crate very rares. You want to list all of the items a non-crate exotic could possibly be. Say you're paying 140, people will offer and they'll give you their non-crate exotics. And then when you've got enough or exhausted all of your credits, you want to sell them for 200 each, making 60 profit on each of the items. This can also be done on PC and Xbox, but I'm not quite familiar with the prices on those, so you want to check RL Garage, see how much people are buying them for and how much people are selling them for. And buying non-crate exotics and buying non-crate very rares is how I get from like 0 to 500 credits when I'm just starting out on Nothing to Something. So now you have 500 or 1,000 credits from flipping non-crate very rares and flipping non-crate exotics. You should be doing this for a few weeks, just getting your credits up. You should have about 1,000 to be honest, just from this method. But now you want to get from 1,000 credits all the way to 5k. Now, this is probably the most important step because once you've got 5,000 credits, trading becomes easy. Obviously, it becomes easier and easier the more credits you have, but I say once you hit about 5,000 credits, it becomes fairly simple. So how you're going to do this is flipping black markets. This is buying black markets for 100 credits under the minimum price and selling in them for around mid price. I mean, sometimes they sell for min price, but mid price is what you should really be aiming for. Now, sometimes you can buy black markets for 150 under min and sometimes only 50, but that just depends on the day and if the black market's rising in price or falling in price or whatever. But basically, buying them cheaply is pretty much exactly the same as buying non-crates. You just want to list all of the black markets you want to buy and how many credits you're buying them for. So here's all the black markets I'm buying for 100 credits under minimum price. Now, two things to note. Prices have 100% changed since this video was uploaded, so do not use this as a price guide. Make sure you check RL Insider before saying you're going to pay a certain amount for black markets. The second thing to note is do not buy black markets that are falling in price, and do not buy painted black markets, only unpainted ones. Unless you get a really good deal on like some titanium white black market, don't buy painted ones because they're a lot harder to sell. So yeah, essentially some of the black markets on this list that I've shown you just now are more expensive than what you can afford. Only choose the ones that you can afford, like Hext for example, buy that for 200. You might not be able to afford Interstellar, so just don't put that down. But when you get more and more credits, you can add more and more expensive black markets onto this list, and then the more you put on, the more offers you'll get, and then it just goes up and up and up and up. It's as simple as that, and you can do this method from literally where you are at 1,000 or 500 credits, and you can just grind it out and you'll get to 5,000 credits fairly quickly. You have got to be persistent and patient, and always remember to bump your trades like I showed you how to do earlier in the video. If you're at this point in the video, you guys already know how to sell your items. All you need to do is create a new trade, put the item you want to sell in, try and sell it for mid price. If it doesn't sell for mid price in quite a while, go for minimum price. And also remember to use RL Garage along with RL Insider to sell your items. Just like I showed you with the non-crate very rares earlier in the video, here are some clips from my Nothing to White Fennec. These are from episode 3 of me buying and selling black market. So this first one is a Stipplegate, buying it for 100 credits under minimum and selling it for mid price. And then with the Sub-Zero, buying it for 100 credits under minimum and selling it for mid price as well. You guys can literally replicate this exact same thing and make so much profit over time. Now, you guys have reached the part of the video where you should have around 5,000 credits. This is where it gets easy as pie. You want to keep doing basically the same thing that you're already doing, but increase the amount of items and the range of items that you're buying. So you're now going to include painted Fennecs, painted Octanes, and painted exotic wheels. So when I'm just trading myself to make my own profit, this is what my RL Garage looks like. We've got some painted Fennecs and painted Octanes. I'm buying them for 100 to 200 credits under minimum depending on the colour. Again, some of these items you may not be able to afford, so just take them off. Like, don't say that you're buying a white Octane if you can't afford it, but this is just showing in general how to get 5,000 plus credits at whatever credit level you have. Then we have obviously painted Fennecs as well for 100 to 200 under minimum. These are the black markets I showed you earlier, and under these black markets we have some black painted exotic wheels and some white painted exotic wheels. The black exotic wheels I'm buying for like 200 to 300 under minimum, apart from Dicey's, which I'm paying almost like above min price for because they're rising so much. And then the white exotics I'm buying for 100 under minimum. Actually, the Hypnotics I'm buying for 200 under minimum at this time. Again, prices are not going to be the same. You need to check the prices on RL Insider because they will be different from the prices I've listed on this video. So those are all the actual trading tips I have for you. As long as everything goes perfectly and as long as you stay consistent and persistent, you will get so many credits using these techniques. Whether you're starting from nothing or you've got 5,000 credits and you don't know where to go from here, that should have all helped you. Now, on to avoiding scams. Sadly, this is a very big part of trading. No matter how little you do trade, there will always be someone that will try and scam you, and you've probably already encountered or even been scammed yourself. I personally have been scammed before when I first started out trading, and I have to say, the best way to learn to avoid scams is to get scammed, learn the hard way. However, obviously I don't want you guys to get scammed, so I advise you to do all the research you can about all the different types of scams currently in Rocket League. Some general tips though: if a trade seems too good to be true, it probably is. If anyone says they're going to give you free items for anything, don't fall for it, because they won't. If anyone says pay me 100 credits and we'll 1v1 and if you win I'll give you a free Fennec, they won't. Don't fall for those simple things. If anyone says can I have this item to try out and then I'll give it back to you and I'll buy it, they won't. Don't fall for it. If anyone looks like they're adding loads of random blueprints into a trade, they're probably trying to scam you. Don't fall for it. In general, before you tick up and accept a trade, every single time, make sure you always check the item that you're buying to make sure it's the item that you want to buy. For example, they might put a white octane in and loads of blueprints and then switch it out for a grey octane, and a lot of the times people will tick up and the trade will go through and they've just spent like 20,000 credits on a grey octane. Now you need to make sure you're always checking that octane is white, and to be honest, if you're buying a white octane and they put loads of blueprints in, chances are they're going to scam you. No one's going to sell you a white octane plus loads of blueprints. In my experience anyway, I've never actually legit bought a white octane along with loads of blueprints. It just doesn't happen. So I really advise you to do your research, watch videos about all the different types of scams in Rocket League, and make sure you don't get scammed yourself. If you do get scammed, don't be disappointed. It happens to everyone. It's happened to me. Not on a big scale, luckily, but I have been scammed before. And it's obviously it feels shit, but at the end of the day, you've learned how to avoid that specific scam that that just got attempted on you, and you just got to keep going, take the L and move on. Finally, my Discord server. I'm doing loads of giveaways all the time on it. I think currently we have a solar flare being given away, a biomass just got given away, loads of non-crate items. I think there was 500 credits given away there earlier. Also, I'm most active on Discord, so if you need to speak to me to ask me any questions about trading or anything like that, just hop in my server and at me on the general chat or whatever, yeah. The link will be in the description and the pinned comment, so head on over there and I'll see you there. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you found all my tips helpful, and I hope you are on the road to a titanium white octane or whatever else your dream item is. You should be able to get all those credits if you're persistent, and you should be able to get them fast. Remember to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below.